What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So me and my pops got a pretty big task at hand. So we got to change the alternator out on his 93 Cobra. And the car's supercharged as well, so everything's tighter and more stuff to take apart rather than just 2 bolts and 2 or 3 wires. So here's the setup. It's a bolt-on 93 Cobra. It's got a V1 S trim from Vortech, making about 10 PSI boost. And it's got the smog system still intact down there. And you can see faintly the alternator pulley down there. So to get that out, we got to take off the supercharger head unit and all the bracketry here because of the way that alternator is bolted in. The bolt comes from the back side across like this with a nut here. Once you take this nut off on the front, well, you can't slide the bolt out, and there's a bracket out in front of the alternator, so you can't just pull it forward. So we got to take the supercharger out, all the piping here, and unbolt this charger bracket here. That way we can pull out the whole bracketry here, unhook the smog, and then we'll be able to just swap out that alternator. So it's a pretty big job, so we're going to tear into it here in a little bit. So me and Pop's been working on it now, and we got the fan and the shroud out, and we figured out how to get the supercharger belt off of here. So there's 3 bolts. One right there, one there, and one right there on the back side. And you loosen those up, and then you hit that with the right there. That just slides right back and forth. You can remove the tension and then just lift that up and pull this belt right off of here. Oh.
That's as far as it
That's
goes.
as far as it goes, yeah. So there we go. Now the belt's off there, and you can pop this right off that crank pulley, and that is how you get the belt off. We got the tensioner bracket unhooked. Now I just loosened up this oil feed line here. Should pop right out. Yep. We'll just kind of see here. Try to tuck this out of the way here. Boom. Now, tonight we're gonna get this charge pipe off of here, get the air intake unhooked back there, and see what else we get into.
It's plugged into something. Something's hooked. Plugged in down here. It's hooked into an oil line or something.
Oh, that must be the return line.
For the antifreeze?
No. Antifreeze would blow that thing up. Oil. Because oil comes in and it's gotta come out somewhere. That way it doesn't just keep pushing and not have anywhere to go. So lift it up so I need the 5/16. So last night we was able to get the supercharger out. Took us a minute to figure out how to get it out because there was this line connected to the bottom that we had to take off. But once we got that out, it was easy. And he polished up the arm, and I polished up the charger for him last night. So all that looks good now. So now what we got to do is unhook the smog system. I believe we already unhooked the alternator. Then we just got to unbolt this big bracket right here and pull it all out. Ready to lift your one out? Got it?
I think so. Am I hooked on?
You're hooked on the harness. Hold it steady. I'm gonna cut the zip and hold it so it don't fall.
Okay.
I have to do a voiceover here from the choice words my dad was saying. It wasn't pretty. Got her out of there. Now I just kind of replaced that like 2 or 3 year old alternator. It's practically brand new. We just swapped out the alternator. This is the PA Performance 130 amp alternator. The one that came out was the Bosch 130 amp. So this should be a nice upgrade. It's about the same though. And right here, the reason we had to take the supercharger out was the other alternator was installed like this. It had the bolt coming through the backside and the nut on the front. And if you know how this all works, you can't just slide the bolt out the backside when you take the nut off because it's going to hit the block, obviously. And you can't just unbolt this bracket without practically taking everything off. So you might as well take it all out and make it easier. So that's what we did. And then when we put it back together, We went to the Lowe's and got a new bolt. It's a grade 8 one right here, 7/16. And we just ran it back through here because this area is actually threaded. So we was able to just avoid the whole bolt and nut situation and just thread it in. So future replacements will be much easier because we won't have to do all this. We'll just be able to unbolt it. Me and Pops threw all the bracketry back in here. I'm about to hook up the alternator. I got the tensioner bolted up. The smoke pump is hooked up. I just got to tighten the connection there. Got to clean up this return line for the oil. And then we can drop in the vortech.
This here is the big bad booty daddy, Chase Showers, working on daddy's 5.0 Mustang Cobra. He's the head mechanic at Falker Farm Boys Garage. Chase, say hello to the audience.
How's it going, fellas?
He's locked, cocked, ready to rock, about to have his 16th birthday in another week. Thinks he's God's gift to women.
All right, we got the supercharger on here. Now I'm just buttoning up this charge pipe, getting all the clamps tightened up, and we'll be ready to finish up the pulley system and get the belts on. All right, so I got the supercharger primed. I got the supercharger belt on. I got the fan and shroud in. Now I'm just working on getting the serpentine belt in. Right now we got the coil unhooked. That way it can spin the motor over and just pump more oil into the supercharger to make sure it's all the way lubed up good. So he's gonna crank it off real quick. All right, that's good. Now we can hook up this coil here. She's on there. Let's see if she starts. There we go. Alternator's charging. It's bouncing around 14.5 to 14.6. Pops just gave it a full tank of premium. He let me drive it. She's running great. Tell you what, it's been fun and it's been real. The car's fixed, no more charging issues. Took it to the car show, that was nice. But as you can see, my car's up on jack stands. A lot of stuff coming for this thing. I'm gonna try to have it fixed by the end of the week, so next weekend I can post a video on this thing. Until then, stay tuned. Thanks for watching.